Yeah, definitely exciting win. Great for the program. Great for the guys in that locker room, and uh, yeah, it was a lot of resilience the guys had to go through to get that win, and just never giving up. And definitely was proud of them watching how they responded to everything, the ups and the downs of that game. But yeah, it's definitely sweet to win that one. But it's Monday now. You got to put that behind us, and definitely look forward to this one this week. This is a good game and good opportunity for us. And obviously, there's some things in the past I want to make up for with this one. So I definitely want to get after it.
And I was going to ask you about that. How much are you looking forward to kind of, I don't know if revenge is the right word, but a bounce back against
Yeah,
Hawaii?
I think just whenever you have these types of games, obviously with these guys, they've had my number the last couple of years, but I think you got to go about it the same way and prepare at a high level and do everything that I do week to week. And I don't think you can go out on the field on Saturday and play with any anger or do anything like that, because then you're going to try to do too much. And I just got to stay within myself and get the ball to my playmakers and make really good decisions like I've done, and I think we'll be fine.
Big picture, can you just look at kind of where this team is at, back at 500 on the season, obviously having you and some of the other guys back. What is the mindset of this team heading into the second half?
Yeah, the second half of the season's definitely here, and Coach Teddy says the most important games are in November, which is very true because we definitely have put ourselves in a good situation. And the guys have earned that in that locker room. So, I think you got to go week to week. You can't look too far ahead, and you got to stay right where your feet are, stay in the moment, stay present, and do everything you can to win on Saturday, because each game that you're presented with is the most important one, and can't look too far ahead with these kind of things.
Jake, how are you feeling today? You were sacked 7 times. You took some hits. You obviously were standing in the pocket for a long stretch. Your first real game action in over a month. How are you feeling physically?
Yeah, physically I'm good. Definitely took a couple shots, as you could say, but that's part of it. I'm going to keep battling, doing everything I can to win football games for this program and for the guys in that locker room, and no matter what it takes, I'm never going to give up. I'm going to keep swinging until that clock hits 0, man, and I'll be fine. It's part of the game. Did a lot of rehab earlier this morning. Going to keep doing it throughout the rest of the day and take advantage of this off day and have a great week of practice.
With Dante Bull out for the rest of the year, what changes for you? How does the line compensate? What do you do back there?
Some guys are going to have to step up, and this team has definitely dealt with injuries this year. There's no doubt about that, and guys have stepped up for this team, and we're 3-1 in conference and have still put ourselves in a great position to be successful for the rest of the year. I definitely feel bad for Dante, really good kid, and I went and saw him last night in the hospital. It was definitely tough to just see him have to go through that. And I know I had my injury earlier in the season, but nothing like what his was like. I just feel terrible for him, and it's part of the game. He's a close friend of mine, and he's battled out there for me the last 3 years, and it just sucks that it was his last snap as a Bulldog. So definitely emotional having to see him go through that and having to see him deal with it. But I'll be there for him, and anything he needs, I'll be there to help him.
I asked Coach this, you were probably too young, but as a student of the game and as a quarterback who can respect other quarterbacks, Timmy Chang was a great quarterback in his own right. Have you ever seen any of his game film? Any thoughts on what he was able to accomplish as a Hawaii's quarterback back in the day?
I know he's a big name in Hawaii, and I know he's a great player. I definitely was. When did he play there?
It was early 2000s.
Yeah, I was a toddler, so I don't remember watching his games, but I'm sure he could sling it. I'm sure he did a lot of really good things for that state, and obviously he's really well respected there. So, he's trying to bring that program back, and he's doing a good job there, and they're going to continue to do good things. I'll have to go check some tape out on him, though.
Did you get a chance to watch the Rams-49ers game? Any thoughts on Ronnie Rivers getting his first NFL start?
I saw Ronnie. I talked to Ronnie last night. I called him last night just to kind of congratulate him for the opportunity he's getting and the job he's doing there. I think those guys like him over there. And, Ronnie was always a really smart kid and could pick things up on the fly. And that's one thing that I think, he's obviously done in L.A. really quick, is shown the staff that he can pick things up quickly and contribute at a high level. So Ronnie's always going to do what Ronnie does. He's taking advantage of the opportunity, and I'm really happy for him.
You know, you mentioned the last couple of years against Hawaii, and last year a lot was made of that game. But after that game, the team played better, and you played consistently, and you guys end up winning 10 games in a bowl game. Is there something that the experience of that Hawaii game maybe taught you or helped you grow through?
Yeah, I definitely think that, you definitely can live and learn through all the ups and the downs, and I definitely think that for myself, I definitely have learned a lot more from the low points in my career because it's taught me a lot about how I need to respond, how I need to get better in certain aspects of the game, and how to handle adversity. Obviously, that's a big part of this game. It's taught me a lot, and I've grown from a lot of those things, and it's made me a much better player. But, going into that Hawaii game, there was a lot of hype. There was a lot of high points in the season, and I definitely felt like going into that game, I tried to do too much. I tried to make big plays. I tried to be the hero way too often in that game, and it, ended up making me make, not the best decisions and putting the ball in harm's way. And, I definitely learned from that. I definitely thought, after that game, I did a much better job of not trying to, make the big play every time and take what's there, find the check downs. And, I definitely think going into it this year, I'm a much sharper player, much smarter, have a lot more experience with seeing coverage, understanding leverage, trying to find where pressures are coming from, and have a really good grasp of what we're doing on offense. So I'm excited for the opportunity. I'm excited for the challenge, and Saturday night's going to be fun.
And when Coach Tedford was talking about the comeback the other night,
Yeah.
Mathematically it is just about impossible, and we never see it happen the way that happened. Touchdown, 2-point, onside, touchdown, then a pick. He talked about belief. Can you help us understand what that belief feels like and where it comes from?
I just think you got to have positive energy. And when you have positive energy and you're optimistic that really good things are going to happen, it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes some of that positive energy will lead into success. And you obviously don't get it done by looking too far forward into the future and trying to score 15 points in one drive, trying to do all these things, because that's obviously impossible. But you just got to stay one play at a time, and that's what we did a really good job of. I was telling the guys that you just got to stay in this thing and look at one play at a time. You can't get 18 points back in one drive. It's a one drive approach, and inside that drive, one play at a time. So I thought the guys did a really good job of staying focused, and we didn't get too high, we didn't get too low. We stayed right here, and in every situation that came up, we just executed when we had to. Obviously, it was not perfect. We had some turnovers that were on, my end that I could have done a better job with, and the guys didn't get down. They just kept swinging and fighting and found a way.
Morning, Jake.
How's it going?
You said that you learned more from the low points, and so what did you learn from those 5 weeks that you were off the field and rehabbing before you got on the field on Saturday?
Like I said, I think I touched on it post-game, just taking a different approach. And, when you're a captain of the team and people look to you for positive energy and just I feel like people look to you on how you hold yourself. And I wanted to be a guy that was positive, didn't feel sorry for myself because in the grand scheme of things, no one really cares. I mean, you get hurt, okay, it's for a couple days, you feel bad for them, but you got to move on. People aren't going to feel bad for you. So that's kind of just what I did. I put my head down and did everything I could in the training room to get healthy as fast as possible. And the funny thing is, people said it was going to be a 10 to 12 week injury at first, and you come back in 5 weeks, and you lead the team out there on Saturday night, and it just felt good to feel the fans in the beginning, and it was really cool getting an applause from the Red Wave. I really appreciated that. So it's great to be back, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
And that kind of leads to my next question, right? It was supposed to be 10 to 12 weeks. How did you expedite it to be half that?
I mean, you get a couple different opinions, and you try to be as optimistic as possible throughout that. And I got about 2 other opinions, and we settled on one thing. And once you settle on a plan, you execute the plan. And I was in here every day and going to seeing other people and taking flights to see other people and doing things. So I was trying to do everything I could to get back here for this program and finish my career here strong. And I was not going to let that night in September be the last game I ever played for Fresno State. So, I'm happy I'm back, and I'm happy I can be here for the guys and the program, and just want to keep building on it.
And so last question for me, Jake. Was this 5-week period the best case scenario when it came to rehabbing? Like, did everything go right to help you play on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things that needed to be crossed off the list before I could go back out there. We needed to make sure that I wasn't going to be put in harm's way, and I was going to be able to protect myself. And, I mean, there's obviously risk in everything you do, but just want to be able to make sure that I was going to be able to protect myself, move around, and obviously help the team win. If I was going to be able to help the team win, I was going to be out there, and as long as the doctor said I was good to go, there was no way I was missing it.
Jake, this Hawaii team is almost unrecognizable with the coaching change and transfer portal, but their defensive coordinator is a holdover. Have you seen anything already, or does that help in terms of knowing what they're going to do schematically?
Yeah, we watched a little bit of tape this morning. I just got back from doing some treatment, so I haven't been able to do a full dive-in yet of them today. That will be this afternoon. But they do – I wouldn't say they do a lot of similar things. There's some carryover, but not a ton. Just because I would say that, Todd Graham did a little similar stuff to what San Diego State does and New Mexico does with the Aztec player in the middle, and they don't really have that as much this year. So, I'm going to go take a look at it and see what the matchups look like and see what they do up front, and, we'll put a plan together.
Is it difficult at all to go from this unique 3-3-5 for 2 weeks in a row to something more conventional for your offense?
I think it's easier because there's not as much movement up front, obviously, and the twist game was giving us problems all night, and I think they kind of expected us just to go to a basic zone scheme up front, running the ball, and they did a good job of slanting and twisting and making the ball go to certain spots in the run game where they knew it was going to bounce to, and they shut us down up front. So. Hats off to San Diego State. They're a really good front and did a lot of really good things. But, we'll see. We'll see what we can do this week and see what we can scheme up and give ourselves the best chance to win.
Was their approach last year any different than what you had seen on film leading into that game?
As far as Hawaii last year to this year? Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a totally different scheme-wise in defense. But the players, there's different players. A lot of players transferred out for them, and I haven't, like I said, taken a big dive into it yet, but, we'll look at it today and see what shows up. Yep.
Yeah, last question. I know you want to come back to that 24-hour rule, but same folks that after the game that Coach McCann was talking about the Julian Edelman sideline conversations and that comeback with the Patriots.
Yeah, they've showed it to us.
Was there anything that you guys, you could hear that was like specifically said, like in reference to UCLA or anything like that?
I actually wasn't thinking about UCLA at all. So I have a sports psychologist that I meet with weekly, and I also talk with my quarterback coach, John Beck, every week. Brett Sandwick is my sports psych guy, and we just basically talked about how to handle, that really, really high moment. And talked about how I'm in control of every situation, and a lot of people in sport control every outcome with how they feel. You put too much pressure on yourself, that's all internal. And after the onside kick, I just wanted to do everything to stay as focused and as even keel as possible, and I just kept telling myself that I needed to stay present in the moment and focus on everything I could to put that last drive together. Obviously, it makes it easy when Nico breaks a tackle and you score in one play. But I felt extremely calm and very in control of the situation. As far as talking to the other guys, it was the same thing that I was saying earlier. Just this can only happen one play at a time. And I think if you focus on that, good things can happen. Cool. Appreciate it.